I'm Eric Lenask. I'm coming to you from the TMC newsroom here in San Jose this week, and I'm talking with Lee Gopadze, who's the CEO from Proxim Wireless. Lee, thank you for joining us here this week.
Thank you, Eric. I really appreciate being here today.
So how about starting off, tell me a little bit about Proxim Wireless.
So Proxim Wireless is an equipment manufacturer. We've been in business for about 12 years now, providing a variety of products to the wireless infrastructure communications segment. What's unique kind of about Proxim is really two things. It was formed out of 5 different companies. It was formed out of a Gears Orinoco division, Western Multiplex, the company Metricom, and then Proxim and Tehrani. And so it's the collection of all those assets and intellectual property that have led us into the company we are today. Second of all is that we take essentially commercial off-the-shelf 802.11n chipsets and we overlay them with a proprietary software called WARP. It stands for Wireless Outdoor Protocol. And WARP allows our products to do things that ordinary 802.11n products can't do. I guess the third thing that's unique about the company is we don't typically focus on the same market segments where you would find LTE or WiMAX or some of the other standards. We tend to focus on telemedicine, on the market segments for video surveillance, for remote distance learning, municipal, federal, state, and local governments.
Well, you certainly mentioned 2 markets that from my perspective anyway, are very, very hot, telemedicine and distance learning. Is that accurate? How's business been?
You know, 2009 was a difficult year. 2010 was a better year, and we're hoping that this year is going to be an even better year. So the business outside of the United States where we operate is doing well, and the United States seems to be picking up as well. We actually operate in about 22 countries around the world. And so Russia, India, Southeast Asia are all strong markets today.
Where do you see some of your biggest threats coming from?
You know, our biggest threat is since this software that we have that's called WARP is an overlay software, we continually have to be in a development mode. Our design center is in Hyderabad, India. We have about 80 people there who are continually working on our software to make sure it continues to differentiate us from a standard 802.11n provider. And so we have to obviously keep that lead so that we can serve the high performance sectors of the market who really demand for high definition video, for medical x-rays transfer, for distance learning with real-time video, and that they have the highest available bandwidth, they have class of service characteristics, they have quality of service, and in many cases, for example in telemedicine, that they can meet the HIPAA requirements for all medical information transfer.
So we've talked a little bit about some of the vertical markets that you target. Who specifically are your customers in those and other markets?
You know, here in the United States, for example, or in North America, I should say, we provided the network for the Vancouver 2010 Winter Olympics. In addition to that, Axis Communications, which is a large provider of video surveillance equipment and networking, is one of our customers. Outside of the United States, it's a variety of carriers and service providers, Tata in India, Telecom Argentina, Telmex. They're all people that we've sold to within the last 18 months period of time.
Certainly, I think, an exciting time to be in the wireless space in general. What's so exciting about Proxim for you?
You know, it's really 2 things. Number one, it's unusual to be a relatively small equipment company and be able to drive performance like we see that we get out of our products. If you took a standard 802.11n chipset, it's rated about 300 megabits. A normal provider would get maybe about 100 megabits out of it. We get 270 megabits out of it. So there's an excitement associated with being able to do that with this WARP protocol that we've developed. I think the second thing that's interesting is this whole mobile data offload that's coming up. Everybody's talking about it. There's going to be a need for microcells and picocells that really expands the cellular networks around the world. People are saying anywhere between 4 and 5 times the number of base stations are going to have to be developed over the next 3 to 5 years. One of the things that we have is a point-to-multipoint architecture that we think can support that growth in base stations. And so we're very excited. I mean, PDAs and handhelds are a growth industry. We think that we'll be able to be a part of that.
I don't think anybody would disagree with you regarding the potential growth and what we're likely to see in the wireless space. Where do you see the wireless industry, say, over the next 2, 3, 5 years?
I think that all segments of it will expand. So you'll see an expansion in terms of Wi-Fi used as a mobile data offload technology. You'll see continued pressure on wireline facilities and licensed spectrum, which I think over time will force cellular carriers to start using more unlicensed spectrum. We operate in the unlicensed spectrum as well as the licensed spectrum area, and so we think that'll be good for all companies who have that capability. I think that VoIP, video, social networking are all applications that are going to drive demand and drive bandwidth onto those networks. And so anytime you can participate within that network infrastructure growth, I think it'll be good for all companies.
Absolutely. Thank you. Been talking here in the TMC newsroom with the CEO of Proxim Wireless, Lee Gopadze. Lee, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Eric.